Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de this whole reservation about how most people don't have things that they retire towards, thus making retirement a less attractive option. What the what now? I find this line of reasoning totally inane. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you my top reasons that I think is pretty relatable to most people to retire towards, if you want to think about it that way, okay? Hey, old Zempuck here. So I've been retired early for about, well, more than 5, but less than 10 years. But closer to 10 than 5, okay? Not a humble brag, I tell you the time period because it is relevant here, right? It's not like I just pulled the plug and haven't seen any market volatility. Boy, I've gone through some years with real dumbass national leadership. So I recognize that sometimes markets can feel shaky, and yet I have held the line, and I have no intention of going back to regular work in the foreseeable future, right? Today's topic really, though, isn't limited to early retirement specifically because it is entirely applicable to regular, boring old age retirement as well, okay? This is why, some people talk about how they never want to retire, will likely work forever, even in the cases of not needing to do so for financial reasons. I mean, mostly I call BS on that specific part, but for argument's sake, let's pretend those intentional lifelong workers do exist, right? Their argument against retirement and for work is simple, that most people who do not know what they would be doing post leaving their day-to-day professions. Now, intuitively, I get it. Now, most regular people aiming for regular retirement has been plugging away at the same-ish type of workplaces for like 4 or 5 or even more decades. So you're very used to a certain lifestyle. If you suddenly stop, oh my, what will you possibly fill your time with? And many actual old people retirees do have an issue with that, and they might quite easily wither and die without the activity that gave their life meaning. So is it really necessary to come up with a list of explicit activities to do, especially before retirement? Well, personally, I think you can just wing it, but if you're a real planner at heart, well, today I'll give you some broad categories of things to do in life to work on that will definitely take up a bunch of time. That's generally applicable to, well, everyone, I think. So yeah, get ready. Anyway, if you're intrigued by what I might say, please subscribe, comment, share, all that social media, whatever. Okay, I don't really care, because I'm rich enough for me. I'll be great regardless of what you do. Number 1, I don't know, work on your family relationships. By that, I mean, just people your loved ones, right? I know it needs work because there's a recurring joke amongst regular, real retirees that, oh, when the working man finally retires, his stay-at-home wife is unhappy because all of a sudden they get to see each other a lot more often. Do you realize how sad that scenario is? My question here, obviously, why are these people who don't like each other married at all? COVID, by the way, was a great small-scale test in this respect, right? People who were partners through COVID, well, you know how much you like each other because we were in our partners' faces like pretty much all the time due to quarantine. By the way, it's not just about spouses, right? Children, your parents, they all fit in this category. Once you no longer have that 40 to 50 hour per week work obligation taking up all that time, guess what? It's time to repair the closest human relationships you have, right? Because regular work can take a toll out of you. I mean, I remember the problem with regular work isn't just the work hours, but how it drags your energy level way down even when you're not working. So now you can absolutely build a closer relationship with your entire family. Maybe add in some close friends if you want. Because remember, when we die eventually, the most common things people regret is not spending more time with the people that they love. Not a single person has ever been recorded pontificated about putting in a little bit more overtime at a job, okay? So I'd like to think. Second main point that I think, plenty of people can work on is you can just work on your food, aka diet. This is more of a point maybe for most dudes and probably more relevant for Americans, right? Because good God, the generic American diet is lacking in both nutritional value and flavor. Once again, I mostly blame work and or hustle culture on this one, okay? I remember when I was putting in the corporate hours, I just didn't have the time or the will to make anything from scratch. And that's ultimately the direction that I think most people should go in. Really doesn't matter what type of food you like, okay? Takeout and restaurant meals and frozen dinners are all in different ways bad for you. Well, at least they are bad for you if you mostly live on them, okay? Sure, go out, have a date, splurge occasionally. That's all fine and good as long as you're not door dashing all your meals like I see people on the internet apparently do, because they're like, I worked so hard, I deserve this. It's literally what I described. That takeout is the worst possible of all worlds. You pay more than even picking up the food yourself from the same local restaurant. The food is not even hot anymore by the time you get it. It's not healthy, obviously, most likely. Good God. The only plus is convenience, which again is irrelevant if, when you're retired, right? It is relevant when you're working a lot. So, in retirement, what should you do? Whatever you like to eat, make it yourself. It'll be cheaper. There'll be more of it. It'll taste better. It'll also be better for you. So what's the catch? Well, you need patience to learn any skill, including cooking, so it probably won't taste any better until you've put in some practice. I say that is a very, very small price to pay. Now, finally, third point, optional one, travel. Again, it's more relevant for Americans who have pitiful average vacation days per year. But even compared to Europeans and their 2 months of vacation, okay? Guess how much vacation I have in early retirement? It is all year. So yeah, no, I'm not saying I actually do travel all year, or even, say, 3 months out of the year. But the difference is I can go anywhere, anytime I want. It's the flexibility that I think is fantastic. You don't like crowds? Well, I go visit, tourist attractions when other people aren't. By the way, this point links up my whole thing about family as well, right? Maybe it's just me, but I've got loved ones all over the country. Being able to see them whenever schedules match up, rather than having to be confined solely to holidays, is a huge game changer. Now, of course, travel isn't for everyone, but I'd say it's one of those things that actually do benefit people the earlier they retire, because travel takes energy and planning. And if you're one of those work until you die folks, boy, I'm just scared of the lack of perspective people like that would have, okay? Because they never travel. But that's a topic for, or rather a rant for a different day. In conclusion, I absolutely do not think people who look forward to retirement need to have specific hobbies lined up. Are you kidding me? Most people absolutely do not have their diet figured out, okay? So, nor do they have their family or relationships in tip-top shape. So those two items alone can take decades to perfect. So yeah, they're already more or less basic human needs that we have exchanged for real happiness in the long run. Just remember how much sacrifice your regular job has taken out of your innate right to pursue happiness. You work and you work and you work for so long to neglect your family and long-term health because of your terrible, terrible diet. That's the most likely scenario. So to me, time to seize back control and add travel, just for fun if you want. Okay? So am I off my rockers? If you think so, please feel free to yell at me below. Otherwise, cheers. I'll approach and